Hey guys, it's Al with Tech Made Easy, and you know what time it is? It's time for me to pull down my drawers. That's right, we have the rolling drawer comparison to give you all the information on which rolling drawer box is actually the best. As you can see, we have the packout, we have the stacktech, the stack pack, and the ModBox, guys. Now in this video we are going to be covering the easiest lock and unlock system. We are going to be covering the most robust locking system. We're going to cover the best weight capacity, the best fit for a truck bed cover, the lightest rolling toolbox, the rolling toolbox that has the biggest wheels, the easiest handle removal, and the best handle on a rolling toolbox. Plus, my opinion, I will tell you what the best overall box is. Again, my opinion. And to be honest, this is going to be a shocker if you know me. So, let's go ahead and get this party started. All right, guys, so here is a slide on what we're covering in this video. Now, we're going to go over all the specs on these boxes. First of all right, ton of specs. But again, we are going to talk about the easiest lock and unlock system, the most robust locking system, the best weight capacity, the best fit for a truck bed cover, the lightest rolling toolbox, the rolling toolbox with the biggest wheels, the one that has the easiest handle removal, and the best handle, by the way. And last, I'll give you my opinion again, the best overall. And if you know me, it'll be a shocker, I promise. Let's go ahead and give you some information. We'll start off with the model number and the price. Packout. Model number will be on the screen. It's $249. stacktech. Model numbers on the screen, and no pricing right now. Not available in the States at the time of making this video. Stack pack. Model numbers on the screen. $219. ModBox. Model numbers on the screen. $219. Now, as far as material, the packout is made of an impact-resistant polymer. The stacktech is made of a high-performance polymer. Stack pack, impact-resistant polymer. ModBox, impact-resistant polymer. Now let's take a moment and go over the box weight capacity. I want you to keep in mind, when I say box weight capacity, that means if you stack drawers on top of these boxes, this box can handle a certain amount of weight. We're not talking the drawers yet. So let's start off with the boxes. And let me just make this simple. Every one of these, max capacity is 250 pounds. That's what you put in the drawer and what you stack on top. Let's go over the really important thing, the drawer weight capacity, what the drawer can hold. Starting off with packout, 150 pound weight capacity on the drawer. Stacktech, 100 pounds. Stack pack, 70 pounds. ModBox, 2 drawers. Large drawer can handle 50 pounds. The small drawer can handle 20 pounds. Now let's go over wheel size, and then we'll actually take a look at the wheels. Packout, 9-inch wheels. Stacktech, 9-inch wheels. Stack pack, 9-inch wheels. And the ModBox, 10-inch wheels. Now, the one thing you'll see about stack pack and ModBox is they are rubber wheels. So let's take a moment and look at those. We'll start off with the packout and the stacktech. Again, both 9-inch wheels. Now, you can see here that the packout went with a different type of design and grip, here. So just taking a good look at that. Again, very reinforced as far as wheels are concerned. All these nook and crannies actually add strength. And we can take a look in the back and you can see also, you know, that's kind of how it's designed. Taking a look at the stacktech, you know, again, different design, right? Different grip pattern. And again, looking in the back, you could see all the nook and crannies, you know, to really add that strength. So not bad, 9 inches for these two. So there you go, looking at the Flex and the Klein. You could see here you've got a 9-inch and you've got a 10-inch. Now, these are rubber wheels. And they say these are rubber wheels also. Now, this is a pretty thick rubber, and this is a thin rubber. Again, 10-inch wheels though, bigger wheels. So just a good look at the build quality there. Same here. All right. Again, a lot of nook and crannies concerning there. And the same pretty much for Klein. We're now going to talk about slides, and we're also going to talk about wheels under the box. That's right. So slides, let's talk about slides. The packout doesn't have any slides, but it has a ton of wheels. It actually has 6 wheels underneath that box that actually help it move in and out. Pretty interesting. Now, stacktech has slides, 2 on each side, and 1 wheel under the box. Pretty nice. Now, stacktech has 2 slides on each side, no wheels under the box. And ModBox, same thing, 2 slides on each side, no wheels under the box. So let's go ahead and start off with, you know, the Milwaukee packout, and we'll move our way down to show you obviously the wheels that are included under the box and also the bottom of the box, so you can see how it's built. Here we are. Just want to take a quick look at the bottom of these boxes so you can kind of see, you know, where they build the strength of that bottom box. The nooks and the crannies really make a big difference. So let's start off with packout. Now you can see here they've got the lines, they've got a bar right through here. I don't know if that comes out actually, I've never thought about that. But they've got a aluminum bar, it looks like, or possibly a steel bar. I don't think it's solid. But you've got, again, all of this builds to the strength of the actual box itself. All right. And then they've got these pieces here that I don't really like because they're hard plastic, and I don't know if these things get like they get, it could scratch a floor. So I'm not a big fan of that. Going over to stacktech, again, look at the amount of nooks and crannies and how deep they are to build the strength of the box. We'll take a look at wheels in a little while. StackPack, good, right? I mean, look at how deep these are as well. So really nice. And guess what? These are rubber. So when these rub up against your customer's floor, if you're using them, they're nice and thick and they will not scratch. These will scratch. Going over to ModBox, I don't know, I gotta be honest with you. Looking at it from the bottom, these are not very thick. I think they could have did a better job at making these deeper and thicker for that strength of the box. But, you know, they do make a good box, I'm not going to kid you. But there's a quick look at the bottom of all 4 of the rolling draw boxes. We're going to now spend some time looking at packout. Now, again, they did not use slides. So just be aware, there are no slides on this box, all right? And this has never fell out for me, just so you'll know. I know some people talk about it falling out, but it's never fell out, and I've had, you know, a good amount of tools in it. Again, I'm not using it on a daily basis as a construction guy or, you know, an electrician, but I wanted to point that out. So you don't have the side rails that a normal box would have. But let's take a look at what they did to really help this box hold 150 pounds inside the box by itself. Now, I put this box on the side for a reason, because when I pull this out, I want you to see that you've got these two huge wheels in the front, first of all. All right, so that's two. As you pull this out, these are on tracks. There's a couple of tracks here. So there are two more wheels in the back, one there and one there. Now, if you look at this just for a minute, you'll see that the big wheels actually slide in to this track. These small wheels slide into this track. But there's two more wheels. So if you look here, that's a wheel. And there's another wheel. You have 6 wheels with their own tracks that actually support the weight of this box. And that's how it can support 150 pounds. So here's the stacktech. Now I've removed the handle, so you've got really nice room here. And I want to show you the slides. So you've got 2 heavy-duty ball-bearing slides on both top and bottom on both sides. But not only that, right? You have a wheel on the bottom. All right, let's take a look at that wheel. And so in the dead center of this box on the bottom, in the front, you've actually got a wheel. Now, a little hard to see right now, but we'll turn the box upside down. But that actually helps support that 100 pounds on the bottom of the box. So let's turn that upside down again and we'll take a look at that. And you can see the wheel tucks in here, but as you pull your box out, you get a nice beefy wheel that looks like it can be replaced. It's got screws here, it's got screws there, but a nice solid wheel, very smooth, shouldn't be, very similar to what Milwaukee used. But that adds to the strength. A stack pack has, again, 2 slides on each side. Again, really strong ball-bearing slides. And they do the job. And ModBox, obviously, is going to have 2 rails on each side. Nice steel ball-bearing slides, and another for the top drawer. Very good quality. No complaints. Now let's talk about IP rating and tell you that none of these rolling boxes are IP rated. They would need to have a rubber ring somewhere in order to do that. Now you will find the original rolling toolboxes, some of them to be IP rated. Let's talk about trays and dividers, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at them. So the packout will give you 2 large and 6 small, as well as 1 tray. So we'll take a look at that. StackTech gives you 2 large. StackPack doesn't give you any, but there's a spot for a divider. ModBox, you have on the top drawer 9 sections, and on the bottom drawer you have 4 sections. So we'll take a look at these now. Take a look at packout here. So we open the drawer. You got a nice tray. All right, it can fit on any side. And then you've got 6 small dividers and 2 large dividers. Now, something unique to the dividers for the Milwaukee is they can actually hold batteries and things like that. I'll pull one out so you can see it real quick. So you see these 2 holes here. And what happens is you can actually, there's accessories they make that snap onto here, and then you can put batteries and other things, other different accessories. So that's kind of unique, because if you look at the box, you can also do it in the inside. So just wanted to show you that. Take a look at StackTech. You do get 2 large dividers. So you can actually, you know, fit some good stuff in here. These kind of come out real easy, but you know, they work pretty well. They do the job if you need them. Let's look at the Flex, and then we'll go right to the ModBox. So again, you do have a section here for the divider. Maybe they sell it, I'm not sure, but no dividers. Moving over to ModBox, on the top, as you can see here, you've got 9 sections you can use. And this top one lays right on it and locks into place. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Down here you have 2 large for 4 sections. That's pretty nice. I like that. Something that's important to a lot of people is being able to lock up their boxes. So let's talk about locking points and maybe even cable lock compatible. So let's start off with packout. You can see here packout's got one spot here where you can put a lock. Now I do wish it was steel reinforced, but it's not. And we're going to come back to this because I'm going to show you, if I put a box on top, some difficulty I uncovered when I was reviewing the box initially. Now stacktech new 2nd generation boxes have a locking system right here. Pull that down, put a lock in, you're ready to go. Locks the whole drawer. Actually has a 3-point locking system. Flex is cable compatible. You know, you can put a cable through here and hopefully run that up to your other boxes. That's nice. And then here is your locking point. Now again, not steel reinforced, but you do have that. Going on to Klein ModBox, I'll tell you, they are the beefy ones here because you get 2 locking points. One that is cable compatible. You can run the cable through all your boxes and lock them all together, and that is steel reinforced. And this guy here that actually closes both boxes so you can't open them up, steel reinforced. You know, you push this in, drop this down. It has a spot that stays out of the way of your drawers so you can open your drawers with no problem. Again, I'm doing this on camera, but no issues whatsoever. Ready to lock. Locks right up. So I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the locking capabilities of the Klein ModBox. Let's go ahead and start off with the packout. So my concern, I brought up a moment ago, and I decided to put the drawers on all of these guys, is the way they designed the lock on the rolling drawer box. My question is, why didn't they put it here? Why did they put it here? Because when you have tools in these drawers and you want to lock this drawer, you have to remove this box. This is a small master lock. You can't get this in unless you remove this actual box. So that to me is just not a good design, and maybe there'll be a Gen 2 that'll come out. Now, I mean, if we talk about the top, yeah, sure, when you get these drawer boxes, they have a really nice locking system here. You know, and it can be tucked away as well, which is nice. So they really thought of that, so that's nice. And again, once you snap it in, you know, you do have plastic on the top. So again, I wish that was steel reinforced, but that's what I wanted to point out. Really not a good design. Now, let's go over to stacktech. Now, understand this is Gen 1, that's Gen 2. They now make a 2-box drawer system. So it's one, you know, box with 2 drawers, and it actually has a locking mechanism on the right. I'll pull a picture up so you can see that. But the challenge right now is ToughBuilt is a smaller company. They don't have the deep pockets like these other, you know, companies do, and the tariffs are killing them, so they can't get them into the States. Hopefully that'll change. Just like this box, you can't get it right now, and if you can, you're buying it from out of the country. But let's talk about the lock. So if I push this down, I can then take this lock, put it on with no issue, and this has a 3-point locking system. I'm going to put a video up real quick so you can see that. Let's take a look at that. I wanted to show you kind of how this locking mechanism works. It has a 3-point locking system. So what happens is when you actually pull this down, you could see here it's got 1 point, 2, and 3, right? You've got 1, 2, and 3. And when you pull this down, they actually go into the grooves over here and they lock right up against the drawer. And it is impossible to open up, by the way. So again, really nice add-on and update to this box. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Again, you know, really nice to see that 3-point locking system. Now let's go over to Flex Stack Pack. And again, no issues. You can put a lock on this with ease, no problem whatsoever. Same thing here on the top. Now, the interesting thing they have with the 2-drawer is they have a bar that actually comes out. And you can use that bar to actually lock these 2 drawers. That's pretty cool. But again, we are focusing right now on the rolling drawer boxes. Moving over to Klein. Man, I'll tell you. Cable lock compatible, straight down, right? All my boxes cable connected and locked. I got my bars. I can put my lock. Look at this. You could still put a lock. Something Milwaukee didn't do. I could still put a lock and lock this box. It's not interfering with having a box on top. So there's some really good information on the locking capabilities of these 4 drawer boxes. So when I bought the 2-drawer, it came with this bar that's hidden in this slot. So I'm going to have some camera shakeage, but if I pull this out, now I will tell you there's another slot here for the bottom box, the rolling drawer box, but I didn't get a bar, so I don't know why I'm missing that. But basically, there's a groove here, and here's where your locking point is. So you take this, you just put it in here, you let it drop in that groove, you let it sit on top like this. Once you put your lock in, it's a way to lock the 2 drawers now with this bar. Again, it is here also. As you can see, the groove is here. Again, you can put a lock here to lock the drawer, but if there's also an optional, I guess it must be optional because it didn't come with the rolling drawer box, but it actually has the slot right here on the side, as you can see, but there was no bar in there. So I don't know. Maybe there's an option for the rolling, but when it comes to 2 drawers, they give it to you in this slot right here. So I did want to show you that. I'm now going to go over how to attach and how to remove these boxes from each other. Now, this is important. If you're going to get into one of these systems, you want to make sure that it really meets your needs and is easy to use. I'm going to start off with packout. But before I do, let's take a look at the top of the boxes, because this really tells the story on how boxes actually lock on. So as you can see here, when you put a box on top of the packout, they have to be pushed back to lock into place. That's kind of how this system works. And you can see here that half boxes can go here, or full boxes will lock in at multiple locking points. Now, if we look at the stacktech, basically they have a rear lock system, and then they have a front. So when you put a box on, it'll slide into the back and lock onto the front. And these pieces here actually help the locking happen. We look at flex. And flex, when you drop your box, basically these latches will open and grab that box. All right, now if you're doing any half boxes, you would use this type of system, here and here. And of course, ModBox, again, half boxes or a full box basically locks right in this way, one direction. Now, what this tells you also is, can I take a box and put it in the opposite direction for whatever need. You know, I've had people ask me this, so I thought I would address it. Now, there's only 2 box systems that would allow that. It's going to be the stacktech, because you can put a box any direction and it will work. And stackpack, again, you can put a box in any direction and it will work. But when it comes to ModBox, it has to go in this way to be able to lock. So you can only put a box in one direction. And the same thing for packout, one direction. So let's start off doing packout real quick, and then we'll move down the line. So with packout, you're going to grab the sides, and you're going to put it on top of your box, and then what you're going to do is push in. Now, again, I have empty boxes, so now it's locked in. You could hear that it grabbed. It's flat, it's locked in. Now, there is a latch down here that basically you can lift up, and basically, you know, that's how you unlock the box. So you're going to go ahead and grab the latch and pull your box forward. So that's how you can lock and unlock packout. But again, no, I just want to show this. You know, probably no one's going to use it, but if you wanted to put one box facing a different direction, maybe you have 2 guys working on a job. I need that box, you need that box. You are not able to put this box on here. It just won't lock. It won't lock. And it's because of the direction of the locking mechanism. So that is packout. Now we look at stacktech. Now these are 2 separate boxes, right? Again, they're coming out with one that'll be one box with 2 drawers, and you'll have a lock here on the side for the Gen 2, like we talked about earlier. But I can still grab these like one box. So I grab them from the side, right? And all I do is put them down, push it back, it's locked on. This basically closes to lock. Unlock it. Grab my 2 boxes, lock it. So that's not bad. But now, this will give me the ability, if I wanted to take this one drawer and face it in an opposite direction, I could do that. As you can see, I now have one box facing one direction, other boxes facing another. Do you need that? I'm not sure. Again, an example could be, I'm working on this side in someone's home, you're working on that side in someone's home, and you don't have to come around to get the things you need. Now with StackPack, we grab our box, and all we do is take our box and drop it down, and it automatically latches on this side and on this side. And to remove this box, I do need to unlatch. So I have to open up this latch, go around to this side, open up this latch, and now I can lift the box off of it. So it goes on pretty easy. And then when you need to take it off, you do have to unlatch on both sides. Now, can I turn this box around and have it in a different direction? It does support it. It does. So you're able to have one box facing one way and one, box facing another. Now, what about Klein? Klein is very similar to Milwaukee, right? They grab in this way. So you take your box, you put it on top, push it back, it locks in place. Then it's got a latch here. And what you're going to do is just lift this up and at the same time pull your box in order to remove your box. Now, the box cannot go the other way because of the way the latches on the bottom of the boxes are designed. It just won't work. But there is just an example of how these attach and detach while you're out on the road doing your job. So this is the first time I'm including this measurement. I call it the box to wheel measurement. Now what is that? Well, it basically means that the wheels stick out enough. So if you're pulling these upstairs, right? You want to know that the wheels are going to hit the stairs and not the box itself. So, you know, you'll see here that Milwaukee and StackTech have the same measurement, because I'm measuring the space from here to here. This is the box and this is the wheel. So how many inches do I have from here to here? So I have 1¼ inches from where the box goes to the wheel for both StackTech and packout. Now, as far as StackPack actually has the most. It has 1½ inches. You could see the wheels sticking out further from the box. See that? So you do get more, even though the wheel size is the same. You know, if you look at, you know, StackTech, 1¼ from this corner to the wheel, and then here the StackPack, you're getting just a little bit more, so 1½. So that's actually helpful when you're bringing a box up or downstairs. Now the smallest measurement's actually 3/4 inch. Look at Klein, by the way. So you see how there's very little room from the wheel to the box? I mean, look at the difference here, right? I mean, you've got all this room. Here you've only got a drop. So 1¼ 1¼ 1.5 inches and 3/4 inch. It's something interesting I've never really thought of or measured, but someone asked me to one time. I'm now going to cover measurements. I'm going to start off with the exterior. I'll cover depth and width first. Then I will cover height, but we'll talk about handle height. So the packout depth is 19¼ inches. StackTech is 19.8 inches. StackPack is 19.75 inches. And ModBox is 20.75 inches. That's depth. Now let's go over width. Packout is 24 inches wide. StackTech is 22.8 inches wide. StackPack is 24 inches wide. And ModBox is 23.5 inches wide. Again, width is measured from wheel to wheel because the wheels stick out. Now we're going to talk about height. Now we're going to start off with the handle fully extended. The packout is 43.25 inches. The StackTech is 44 inches. StackPack is 41½ inches. It's the lowest. And ModBox is 44 inches in height with the handle fully extended. Now I'm going to drop the handle and give you measurements. All right, handle dropped. Height measurement for packout is 19.75. Now that handle doesn't remove. It just drops all the way down below the box. So total height with handle dropped, 19.75. StackTech, 26.1 inches with the handle dropped. StackPack, 26.97 inches with the handle dropped. ModBox, 27 inches with the handle dropped. Now here are the handles removed. And we'll start off with packout, 19.75, right? You don't remove the handle, it doesn't come out. StackTech, 18.8 inches with the handle removed. That's great for a tonneau cover. StackPack, 19.67 inches. And ModBox, check this out. Look how low that is. 16.5 inches with the handle removed. Now let me show you how to remove the handles. Now before I remove the handles, I want to highlight something. So packout has room for a bar in the handle. There's a hole there. Klein does as well. They also have a nice grip. And pretty much everybody's got some rubber, you know, for some grip. You know, they even on the stacktech and, you know, obviously here on the packout. All right. One thing I wanted to highlight for you is Klein gets some extra credit because they have storage here. And you can put bars in here, you can put long tools in here, and then they're going to just drop into these spots here. So they give you not only a very beefy handle, but they give you a way to store and carry with you while you have boxes some long tools or some pipe. So a little extra credit there for Klein. But let's go ahead and go over how to remove the handles. Now packout really just drops. There's no removal. So all you do is you push this button here and that drops all the way down. Stacktech to me is the easiest. All right, so I'm going to drop this down. I don't need to, but I'm going to drop this down. I got two latches down here, 1 and 2. That's it. Pull this out, put it where I want to put it. No problem whatsoever. This guy is the difficult guy. You have to drop this down, first of all. I'll tell you why. So I'm going to drop that all the way down. Now you got to tilt the box back. You got to get to these latches that are, you have to put your finger here, pop these out one at a time. Okay. I got to tell you, you almost have to like really push hard. And you're not over, it's not done yet. You can't pull this out. So now you got to pull this up. And then you got to pull this up again. And now your handle came out. But a lot more work. Now Klein, basically all you need to do is pull these out. You see they say unlocked? So you just pull these out on both sides. This is the stiffest, hardest to remove in the sense of strength. They really hold on, even with the latches out. So you're going to get some camera shakage. Just let me just tell you now. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I'm going to put a foot on the bottom, but you're out now. So their mechanism's not bad. It's pretty tight. To me, that stacktech's the easiest. Really, the packout's the easiest. You don't have to remove it, to be honest with you. Second place runner-up, stacktech. So that's how the handles get removed. While on the topic of handles, the StackPack box doesn't have a handle. You just have a groove here, and it's kind of slippery, so I can only fit a drop of my finger, but it's doable. The Klein does have a good ridge here. This is also for your accessories, so you could use that. But the StackTech and the packout actually have handles on both sides. Nice, beefy handles. Now, packout's got some rubber, and these stop here. So they go up and they stop here. So they're nice. You got a decent, you know, area if you have a big hand. So those are nice. And StackTech has a big handle as well. Stops right there. And maybe the packout has a little bit more room. This is slippery. All right, so you don't have much grip. A little slippery. Here you've got good grip. But since we were talking about handles, I figured I'd mention that. This is what you came here for. I'm now going to give you measurements for the drawers themselves. They're all fully extended. Obviously, I didn't open the second drawer on the ModBox, but you could see here. And measurements are coming up in a moment. I'll start off with the depth. So the packout depth is 13 inches in depth. StackTech is 14.4 inches in depth. StackPack is 11.54 inches in depth. And the Klein, the large drawer, and the small drawer are both 13 inches in depth. Now we look at width, the width of the drawer. Packout is 16.75 inches. StackTech is 15.4 inches. StackPack is 16.81 inches. And the ModBox is 16.25 inches for the large and the small. Again, that is width. Now let's cover height. Packout is 15.5 inches. StackTech is 15.1 inches. And StackPack is 12.32 inches. And the ModBox, the large drawer, is 9.25 inches. And the small drawer is 3 inches. Let's now go over the weight. Very interesting here. So the packout box is 33.45 pounds. StackTech, 38.1 pounds. StackPack, 37.75 pounds. And check this out. ModBox, 42.14 pounds. That's a heavy boy. Warranty. Packout, limited lifetime warranty. StackTech, limited lifetime warranty. StackPack, 1 year warranty, limited. And ModBox, limited lifetime warranty. Now, where are these made? Well, let me go ahead and put that on the screen for you. All right, so that was a lot of information, right? And before we announce some of the winners based on all of the information, let's go ahead and put some tools in these boxes so you can see. And I'm going to use the same tools for all the boxes so you could see what fits in the boxes and maybe what wouldn't fit in some boxes. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to put this right in the middle of the video. If you want to see some head-to-heads, well, I'm going to put a couple up on the screen. As you can see, there are a few head-to-heads that we did. And I'm going to put links in the video description. I hope you come check them out. We're going to go ahead and put all these tools inside of this box. And we've got some big tools here. We've also got some M12 as well. We've got a couple of batteries, a charger. And you know what? That's the new 2nd gen rear handle as well. So we've got some big stuff here. And let's go ahead and take a moment now and see if we can get it all to fit in here. All right, nice big box, by the way. So I'm going to start off putting the batteries in, you know. Let me put some batteries in the corner. All right, so I've got some batteries in the corner. And next thing I want to do is I want to start with this big boy. I think the way I do this now, I like to kind of shove this in the corner and then go from there as far as what else I can do with the room in this box. You know, it's a nice high box. That's one thing I'll give it. All right, let's take some of the smaller guys again. I'm going to take this and put it down here. Actually, I could take this and put it here. All right, again, this little guy, very handy. Put that in here. And what else? This little guy. All right, now let me take this big boy. Let me tell you. Get this in here. All right, still doing very well. This guy. Again, still doing well. This big beast. So far, no issues, I'll tell you. And this, I love this. This is the M12. So compact. Really does a great job. Let me take it and put it down there. Do that. I've got batteries. I've got a charger in here. I mean, I have more room. As you can probably see, I still have more room. I could put stuff here. I could put stuff here. But let me see. Can I close this boy now? Oh, no problem whatsoever. I mean, think about it. All that went in, and you have extra room. Let's check out the stacktech and see if it's the same thing. All right. Let's go ahead and jump in with the stacktech, and again, do it very similarly. Now, one thing that's interesting about this box is you do have the humps, you know, obviously affecting the box a little bit. Now, with the ToughBuilt, you got one little one in the middle. So, again, little things to look at. But let me go ahead and start off with the batteries. Just want to put a couple batteries in the corner. Look at this big boy. And I'll take this guy, I'll lay it on top. I'll take this probably, again, lay it on top. Now let's take the 2nd gen rear handle, put that in there. So far so good. Not as high as the packout, you know. Again, still really good room, but you know, the height on that packout. Let's take this big boy. Now, I got a little room in the corner here, so let me take this drill, throw it down there. Let me take the cutoff tool, and I'm going to put that there for now. This guy, all right, still doing good. This guy is going to need to slide in here. Again, no issues. And I've got the charger, and I could probably take the drill, shove it in there. Just trying to, you know, it's always a matter of making sure that you got enough space. So let's see. I'm going to put the charger down here. And then this should lay right in here. And that will close with no issues. So we still have a little more room up here, but you know, a little bit room down there, but not as much. It's not as high, but nice. Sorry about the swing of that camera, but it did the job. All right, let's do stack pack. Now I'm going to start off with the Gen 2 because that thing is big. And I remember some of the challenges with this box. Now I did have to take this off. All right, that's my hose adapter for the vac. Now if I put this in this way, it's not going to fit. It's going to hit. Just ever so slightly, but it's going to hit. So this actually has to go this way. That's how that's going to fit. Now what else can I put in here is the next question. Now I can try this big boy, but I don't think it's going to work. Because again, you know, it's just, it needs room. I might have to sacrifice this, first of all. All right, first sacrifice. Can I put this in? Again, I'm going to have to be fair and remove the handle. So let's do that. So I can fit this, but before I do, let me just get the batteries, right? I wanted to put a couple batteries, so I've got that battery. Got that battery. I can put a battery under this corner. So again, just trying to fit as much as we can fit. Trying to see what's getting in the way, but all right, there we go. So we've got 3 batteries. I can now put this in with the handle. That's in. Can I get this bad boy in here? can do that. All right. Then I want my drill. Gotta have my drill with me. So far, so good. My cutting tool. All right, cutting tool's in there. This guy's in here. That's in there. And it looks like the charger and this guy is going to be sacrificed, but still pretty damn good, if you ask me. So we did get a lot in here, just not that. Well, it's time to see what fits in this because it's a 2-drawer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the top. I think that's the best way to go. And I'm going to put a couple of small tools in here. I think this is probably the best way to go. Give me some batteries. All right. I got batteries. This can go in here. This is going to have to go in here. I had to take it off of that. I don't think that's going to fit in the bottom drawer, but we'll see. So we got some good stuff in here. Now it's that. Will this fit? Because this is a small drawer. Now, obviously it's not going to fit that way. I think that is the only way it's going to fit. All right. I got to do something. There's gotta be a way to get this to fit. I don't know if it's this latch that's causing me the issues. Yep, okay, so it does rub, but it's in there, so that's good. Let's take a battery, put it there. I'm not even going to think about a charger right now. This guy, I don't know. I just, nope. It'll be the sacrifice I have to make is going to be this guy. There's no way this is fitting in this drawer now at all. So that's going to be the sacrifice. One sacrifice for sure. Because again, it will not fit whatsoever. Okay. This tool should fit right there. No issues. Now I took the handle off this guy, so again, I might have to move some things around, but oh boy, don't tell me I can't fit. Is this going to be it? That can go that way, but again, that's going to hit. All right, what about, no, it's not going to work. All right, and if I can get this to stay this way, I can get it to work. So let me put the handle underneath. Wait a minute. Is that gonna, yeah, it's gonna, it's gonna catch. That's the problem. All right, is that gonna be it? That's gonna be it. Okay, good. Can I get this in? Oh boy, it's going to be one or the other because, that circular saw has to be sideways. So guys, because of the height of this box only being, I believe, 9 1/4, this is pretty much going to be all we can fit in this thing, other than maybe some batteries and other stuff. But we're going to have to sacrifice these two guys. All right. All right. It's time to cover who's the best in all the different areas. And I'm going to put timestamps on the screen also if you just want to go back to those timestamps. You also might be surprised at who I choose as overall best, especially if you know me. Let's check this out. All right, it's time to first choose the easiest to lock and unlock. And I mean take your box, put it on, and take your box and take it off. And the winner for me is stacktech. Hands down the easiest lock and unlock system. making your boxes super easy to move around. And I'm going to put a timestamp right there on the bottom right-hand corner if you want to check out that section of the video. All right, now I'm going to be covering the most robust locking system. And you probably already know this one. It has to be Klein ModBox. Now, why? Number one, they've got the locking bars that actually go on the front of their boxes, which is really nice. It slides down. It's out of the way. You've got the steel reinforced hole for the locks, and you've got a cable lock option, and you could tie your boxes together. There's the timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner if you want to check out that section of the video. So who gets the highest weight capacity? And I'm talking the drawer. Well, this is pretty easy. It's packout. Packout's drawer can handle 150 pounds. Insanity. And there is the timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner if you want to go check that section out. All right, you own a truck and you want to put these boxes under your truck bed cover. Well, I'm going to give you two choices. Number one is going to be ModBox. And you just take the handle off and you've got 16.5 inches in height. The second runner-up is going to be stacktech at 18.8 inches. I will put the timestamp to this section in the bottom right-hand corner if you want to check that out. Ready for the lightest rolling drawer box? Well, the packout is 33.45 pounds. And a runner-up would be StackPack at 37.75 pounds. That's right, Milwaukee in first and Flex in second. And if you want to see this section, I'll put the timestamp in the bottom right-hand corner for you to check that out. You want a box with some really big wheels? Well, this is pretty easy. It's going to be the ModBox. It's got 10-inch rubber wheels. And if you want to see this section of the video, look for the timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner to check it out. You want a box that has the easiest handle to remove? Well, I'm going to give you two of them. Number one, packout. There is no handle to remove. It just drops down, and that's it. Now, a runner-up is going to be stacktech. And the nice part about the stacktech is it's actually a little shorter. Again, the stacktech with the handle removed is 18.8 inches, and the packout is 19.75 inches. There you go. The timestamp is on the bottom right-hand corner if you want to check this section out. You want a box that has the strongest handle, the best handle? Well, hands down, it is going to be Klein. And the reason why it's the thickest and really the most durable in my experience so far, I also like that it has a storage section so you can bring long tools with you and pipe. I'm going to put the timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner so you can go and check out all the different handles. All right, well, what box is the best overall? Well, I'm going to give you my opinion. And believe it or not, it's not my favorite, and that's okay. But I'll tell you, it really got a ton of points in this competition, and it is Klein ModBox. Now, here's a couple of reasons. Number one, the most robust locking system, hands down. When you remove the handle, it is also the lowest box for, your truck bed cover. It's got the largest wheels. It's got the most robust handle, by the way, with built-in storage. So I had to give it to Klein ModBox. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching our video. I sure hope you found it helpful. And if you did, give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and put our social media up on top if you want to follow us. And you'll be able to subscribe to our channel by clicking this round Tech Made Easy logo. Guys, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.